Hey, only every once in a while do we reply to people that send nice notes. And by nice, I mean not that nice. This one's just okay, though. So I was going to bring it up because I thought it was funny based on the show last week. So Rich on YouTube on Friday commented on our show, 99K subs, by the way, almost at 100K. Rich said they should call this the East Coast, West Coast show. I'm like, Jazz Chisholm got in trouble, Rich. So we're going to talk about that on Friday. Ohtani was announced would be missing months still with the pitching issue, which we waited an hour into the show. I did reply, we have Mr. Brewer, Eric Kratz every day. Who was our big guest on Friday? A player who we hadn't had on before. And what team does he play for, Eric?
Jackson Chourio, who plays in the smallest market in the middle of the country.
Okay, just checking.
Maybe he didn't understand Spanish. Maybe he didn't understand Spanish, so he didn't hear that part of the interview. Maybe we need to hablo inglés for him.
Okay, well then I'm going to put Alana Rizzo on the case, and you do not want the wrath of
You don't
Alana.
want Alana mad at you.
No, she crushed it on the interpreting. So if you missed the stereo combo, go for it.
Alana's Spanish is like textbook perfect. Like, ¿Cómo estás? It's perfect. Perfect Spanish.
You know how I describe it? If you only know a little bit, you can actually get some words there. Because she speaks slow enough that I can grab it. Yes. So for me, it helps a ton.
Yes, 100%.
Right? We don't know a ton of Spanish, but I can catch some words. So it helped. All right, we got a lot to cover today. So let's charge. He's charging the mound. Okay, over the weekend.
First of all, how was everyone's weekend? How can we never ask, like, how was everyone's
You're going to do that once we charge?
Well, yeah, why not? Because you're probably, I don't get a choice because we don't get to talk before Scott gets to going, right, Kratz? Like, Kratz, I want to know, how was your weekend?
My weekend was awesome. I went to New York. Got to celebrate Easter with a bunch of people, family, happy family, the Mellets, the Parsons, the Laportes, all those people. It was tremendous. A little bit of a drive, but no Easter traffic, so I was loving it.
Perfect. Thank you. And Scott, how was your
Easter?
How was your Easter? My Easter was great. I was in Mississippi. Got to hang out with my daughter. She was there. She had her spring game of volleyball.
Nice.
Got to watch Florida whoop Mississippi State's ass in baseball twice. It was great. Got to go the dude for the first time.
Was it cool?
It was cool. I know the people in the outfield are unbelievable. There's grills going, and everyone's offering you food and drinks, and you're just cool. Like,
sounds fun.
I love this. So yeah, they offer food and drinks and everything. You just walk around and sat right behind home plate, and it was awesome. Pap didn't show. Shocker.
Did you invite him?
Of course I invited him.
Pap. We'll hear from Pap later in the show. Mine was great. I work a lot, so I worked. I watched baseball games. I hung out. Yeah, nothing crazy.
So I went to church. You're going to like this. This is a good – Kratz will like this story. I went to church with my daughter and her friends, her volleyball friends, and we were there, and the church was really nice. It was nice. It was pretty new, and it was a small, southern church, and they have a screen. The preacher wasn't there. It was a screen that comes down, right? And there was two screens on the side. And my daughter's like, it's kind of weird because the preacher's not here. He's sometimes he's here, but sometimes they do this screen thing. Screen lowers, and it was the most realistic screen I've ever seen in my life. Like, the guy was talking, and he was, he did a really good job of still trying to keep people like looking this way and looking this way.
Where was he, by the way?
At one of the other churches, I guess. But it was recorded. I knew it was recorded, but you could still tell. So the guy gets done, and my wife goes, man, how lucky did we get that the preacher was there? I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, he was there. It's amazing. And I'm like, huh? My daughter, of course, goes, bruh. She thought the screen was so real. She thought the guy was there preaching. It was not there.
No way. So she thought, did she think it was like you're at a football game and she
thought it was like a hologram? I don't know. I don't know what she thought.
I
don't know what she thought the guy was there, and it was clearly a screen.
She was messing with you.
No, she was not, because we had a whole conversation about it. She was not. And I was like, what?
Can you take a picture of the screen next time? I just want to see how good it is.
It was an unbelievable screen.
So there's virtual reality and there's, what's the other one? AR.
I don't know. They do like a hologram thing, but this was clearly a screen.
Right.
And her argument was, well, didn't you see him point at the other screen in the screen? And I go, yeah, because it was recorded. So he had the screen. She's like, no, I thought it was real.
All right, well, we need that technology.
I was dying. I'm like, we even called my daughter, and my daughter, of course, was like, bruh. All right, now we can charge him. I just thought that was funny from the weekend, but. Anyways.
All right, then let's recharge. Recharge, please.
Charging the mound.
Jarred Kelenic pimped a single because he was out at second. He was admiring a ball that did not end up leaving the yard. Doesn't get in trouble for it. Ronald Acuña Jr. has gotten in trouble for a similar thing years back. So we can show the David O'Brien tweet first, the Kelenic screw-up that should have been addressed by Braves manager Brian Snitker rather than dismissed when he was asked about it post-game. Here it is for Kelenic, by the way. Huge moment in the game. 3-3, bottom six. He's toast at second. Right in front of the Braves dugout, too, as he's running around, because Snit's nice. He's really laid back, but it's right in front of him, and he said he missed it. He said he didn't see it, and then even the next day, he hadn't caught it. He's like, what do you want me to do? They're like, shouldn't you talk to him? Like, you've talked to other people about it. So Acuña chimed in and was like, if it were me, they would take me out of the game. He rolled out that tweet and then deleted it.
That's why you shouldn't tweet.
Why?
That's why you shouldn't tweet during a game right after. Because we saw Jazz Chisholm. He got in trouble. He got suspended.
We know how Ronald really feels.
I take this as kind of, I hope it's a joke, Ronald. I think you're an awesome player, but I don't know. If it was right, why'd he delete it?
Team might have said to take it down.
Okay, well, then it was the wrong thing to tweet at the wrong time. I'm sorry. Listen, you just can't. I get it. Yes, he was taken out, but there's also, I don't know. Like,
doesn't he have a point?
Yeah, but just because you have a point doesn't make it the right thing to do.
Right.
Trust me, I have a hard enough time with that. Where I have lots of points, and there are times when I'm like, this is not the right thing. Like, trust me, on Twitter especially, or Instagram, when people write stuff to you, there's a lot of times where I want to be like, I'm going to make a point, but then I'm going to have to delete it later because the guy's probably going to start crying when I go after him. So I get it. I do. Listen, I've been thrown out thinking a ball's gone and it doesn't leave, and you get thrown out second, you feel awful, first of all. Right? So, I don't know. I mean, I think this is a lot to do about a guy that's injured and maybe he's bored and at least he's watching the game. I'll give him that. I don't know. I don't know. I just wish he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, but they pulled him.
Wow, Jarred Duran just dropped the fly ball right to him. That is really bad.
They pulled him, though, in 2019. Although then in the playoffs, he did a similar thing, and they didn't pull him.
But 2019 was like his first year, right?
Yeah.
So they were sending him a message early, right? Basically, they were trying to send. Jarred Kelenic's been around long enough. He knows he screwed up, and I mean, I know Acuña knows he screwed up too, but I think that when he did it in 2019 was more of a Brian Snitker saying we don't play like that, and when he was a young kid. And Jarred Kelenic has been around a little bit. Not that there should be a double standard, but if you took out every guy that doesn't run out a ball, Kratz, you'd have half the team sitting on the bench.
I mean, the whole Nats Pirates game that I went to, you would have just had a bunch of dudes that just like you would have just been playing like 6-on-6 backyard baseball, something like that. Listen, like, should he have taken him out? I don't think so. Should Ronald have tweeted it? You go into like the feeling of Ronald thinking, well, other guys aren't being treated the same way I was treated 6 years ago. Like, that was the last time that I heard was 2019 that they pulled him out for not running. And I also delved into a little bit more with people who know and were with the organization at that time. It wasn't the first time. So repeat offenders, yes, they're treated differently. But Snit has, I've never once heard Snit be considered a manager's manager. He's a player's manager. He has his players back all the time. How he handled this was awesome. How Kelenic handled, how you pimp a ball in Atlanta that doesn't go out, I'm not sure, because that place is a launching pad. But I heard he went right into his office and apologized afterwards. So you sit there and you go, Snit doesn't have to say, oh, yeah, I should have done that. Like, he's in that room with the players all the time. Acuña, that's tough. That's tough. Hopefully it's not something that continues to linger, because clearly he remembered it from 2019. Like, that is a long time ago. And he was very young at that point.
Ken pointed out in his story how Snit has sat other players in the past, Ken, in the Athletic.
Snit has done this. Matt Williams did it to Bryce Harper, remember?
Yeah.
And it basically cost Matt Williams' job. Matt Williams got fired shortly after this. So I think there's definitely a precedent that has been set. But listen, one thing about Snit gets his players back so much. I mean, I played for Snit, and I was terrible, and Snit covered for me a lot. But and that's not a thing. But I don't know. Look at the players that get benched for not running balls out. The ones I just named, Acuña and Harper. What do they have in common? MVPs, Hall of Fame type talent. Not a knock on Jarred Kelenic, but some guys, sometimes, Kratz, and you don't know this, superstars or guys they think are superstars are treated a little bit differently. Why? Because they want to get more out of them, right? So Snit wants more. Remember, Freddie Freeman used to get on Acuña all the time because he's like, there's more in there. And Acuña hated Freddie for it because Freddie would get on him, right? There are certain players that you see that you know are going to be better and can be better if they're just better in doing things. And that sucks, but that's the way life is sometimes.
Can I also offer where Kelenic's at? I mean, he's struggling. He has struggled to really find himself in the big league so far. So the ceiling is not even close to the same as it is with Acuña. And do you have to maybe be a little careful?
Yes.
With someone like that who needs some confidence, not to be kicked down right now.
I think we're really delving into like the psyche of the player when you say something like that. I would delve into the psyche of the 20 at the time when Acuña got benched, the 24 other guys on the roster. If you allow the superstar to do that, how does that change how other guys perceive how they're supposed to play? Look at the Dodgers. Like, all their superstars set a certain precedent. They want to be out there 162 games. The precedent's set with your superstar. If he's perceived as dogging it and not playing hard, there's going to be other dudes that come up, other young guys that come up, and Ronald doesn't have to run, so why would I run?
Now, Ender Inciarte was pulled in a game for lack of hustle in 2018 by Snit. Marcell Ozuna, a similar situation to Kelenic and Acuña in June of 2023. I don't know. I feel like
that's what I'm saying. Snit has done this before.
It's
maybe
been
he missed
done.
it. Maybe this is the first time.
Yeah.
I'm not in Snit's head. Snit said he didn't see it, so I have to take him at his word. Snit's always been honest with me. I have to take his word that he didn't see it. Maybe he didn't see it.
That part, I'm like, what?
Well, that's also a way to cover for your guy.
Yeah.
It's also trying to make less out of it. Now, I don't know that he knew about the Acuña tweet at the time either.
No, he did once it happened. Then, he was informed about it. But I don't know. He clearly didn't think it was going to become a big thing.
Well, it wouldn't have been a big thing until Acuña tweeted. If he wouldn't have tweeted, it wouldn't have been a big thing.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
It's not even mentioned.
Yeah.
Because didn't the Braves win the game?
Braves swept the Twins this weekend.
Yeah.
Let's not overlook. The Atlanta Braves are back, baby. They're climbing back into Eric Kratz's power rankings later this week.
Oh, you're doing those on Friday, right?
Probably.
Perfect.
I'm not here Friday either.
Yeah, perfect.
Hammer territory, by the way, covering the Braves on a daily basis. But the Braves swept the Twins. They're supposed to be happy. They probably still are. Okay, when you're in the clubhouse right now, do you really look into this much, care much about this? Do you even think that it's going to be a thing?
Acuña might not even. Is Acuña even in Atlanta?
No, he's not with the team.
Then nobody cares.
No one cares, right? It's a nothing.
It's only something in the media. That's it. Because everyone's like, he's just Ronald being dumb. Like, right? Kratz like, whatever. And today you come into the ballpark, you forget. You completely forgot that it even happened. But the media, of course, is now going to have to ask Olsen and all these other guys about it, and that's why it's a thing. But if he didn't tweet, nobody would have said a freaking word about this. Even because you know why? They win. You know what cures everything, Scott, in the major leagues?
I heard winning.
Winning cures everything. You can act like a complete jackass and do whatever you want, but if you hit 40 homers a year and drive in 130 and you help your team win more games, guess what? You get away with a little bit more. If you're the guy that's struggling at 180 and not doing a lot and your team ain't winning, guess who they point at? The guy hitting 180.
Yep.
That's how it works.
I do have one more. So I've known Snit for years too. I feel like the reviews are always good from the team. He is 69 years old. He's been with the organization. He's been with the organization for 49 years.
Yeah, next year will be 50.
Right. He is super respected. He's had Acuña's back in the past when the Marlins kept throwing at him. Everybody wanted Marcell Ozuna off that team. You're lying if in April of whatever year that was, you thought he should still be there. Everyone was like, this dude has problems and he's trash on the field after 6 weeks or whatever it was, and Snit stayed with him. So Snit's made some good calls, and he led his team to a World Series in 2021. The amount of Braves fans that I saw on social media, and maybe they're fake accounts, that were like, we got to get him out. I'm like, shut up.
He's done nothing but win.
How dare you?
Except for his first year. But other than that, he's done nothing but win.
Yes.
When he's been given the talent to win, he's won. That's it.
That's it. So, yeah.
And the players love him. Talk to any player that played for him any point. They love him.
And he'll call Acuña, probably already did, and say, I love you, dude.
Yeah,
You're a superstar. I treat you differently. In a good way and a bad way, but mostly in a good way because I expect the world out of you, and I can't wait for you to get a $300 million contract after this 100 that you're not thrilled about, but that's not me. But he's going to come back in a few weeks. He's going to be a stud for them, and the Braves are going to make the playoffs. All right, FT fam. Tonight is playback night. Eric Kratz finally got the invite.
Ooh.
Finally. It is Mets-Phillies. It should be a really good series. And we've got Kratz and Ruben Amaro Jr., maybe some more guests. We'll see. But we're going to call the game with those two. So, Kratz, there you go. You finally got the invite. Rest your vocal cords. Plus, we got to hit a break. All right, we'll be right back. We have a lot more to get to today, including Jose Berríos versus Cal Raleigh and what happened in Pittsburgh all weekend.
They stink.
There's more to it than that. All right, FT fam. Oh, this is actually a good day for this. What do you have on the desk as we're going to tell everyone about Arena Club and how they can get 20% off slab packs or card purchases?
This isn't exactly a slab pack, but
this could go in your showroom. We've got,
and it doesn't exactly. This was from when I was a kid, so I have it's all mixed and matched.
But this is why Arena Club slaps.
Yes, look, Alan Trammell, Mark Clear. These are all different. Aldo, I played for him as a coach. Larry Sheets, Gavin Sheets' dad.
Oh, wow.
Yep. He went to EMU. He went to my college.
Ron Gant. I don't even know this guy. Ken Schrone.
Yeah, but here's
the
problem.
What's funny, these are all different. Look, let's pull out this one.
This is
what about Charlie Huff? And what year is this?
School baller.
Fleer from
87.
87 Fleer. Yeah, let's see what else we got. Ruben Sierra.
Wait, we have other stuff to do.
Which, by the way, Herald Hall of Fame Bames. Sorry about that. Pitcher's Nightmare, Puckett, Jim Rice, and Canseco. Yes.
If you want to be organized, then sign up for Arena Club, and these cards can be in your showroom. You can send in the good ones. You can get them graded, right? Let them organize your life. And also check out slab packs. So instead of ripping packs and then just throwing everything everywhere, you get the good stuff in the slab pack. Use the code FOUL, 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase at arenaclub.com/foul and use the code FOUL.
Ooh, Ozzie Guillen. Slap nuts. Get Ozzie Guillen slap nuts.
A couple other quick things. One, we're at 99,000 YouTube subscribers. So if you're watching right now and you're not a subscriber, we work really hard. It would be cool if you did. And lastly, this one's for Kratz. Did you see the attendance numbers in Philadelphia for the game the other day?
I don't understand. How did they break a record? Did people bring in their own lawn chairs?
Marlins, Phillies.
How did they break a record? Listen,
44,949. They do. Largest regular season attendance at the bank since opening day 2017. For Marlins, Phillies.
Big game. Big game. But they love their Phillies right now. They love their Philly sports. Not too big of fans of blowing the game yesterday, but I never understand how the Padres break their attendance record.
Well, because they have that thing in center field, the lawn where they can put a million different people.
It's a growing lawn.
So how the Phillies do it? People sitting on a wall?
They offered free cheesesteaks.
More standing room only.
There's some buttes in here.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. We're excited to have Travis Sawchik back on the show with us. MLB writer for TheScore, has really great books out there as well. A really good follow at Travis_Sawchik. Travis, great to have you on. We're going to start with a team that is near and dear to your heart. I'll let you start because there's a lot of different layers here. What happened in Pittsburgh this past weekend?
Well, they lost.
Besides
they
that,
lost, which we knew.
What's going on?
Oh, man. Yeah, I was a beat writer for the Tribune Review in Pittsburgh in 2013 to 2016, which was the peak period to be there since like the 79 World Series. They made 3 straight playoff trips. So I was there for the good times. But this past weekend was interesting. There's been a lot of animosity between the fan base and ownership just because of the lack of spend during Bob Nutting's 19 years as the principal owner. They've been in a 26 or lower opening day payroll in 17 of 19 of those seasons. So the fan base is, of course, frustrated with that. And then there's a performance on the field. And then in winning that lottery ticket that is Paul Skenes, there's this expectation that, if not now, when? And then there's just a lack of commitment this offseason to improving the club. So you have all that, and then to pile on top of that heap of anger are 2 PR hits in which during the opening homestand, the Clemente wall signage which had been there last several seasons. I think it said Clemente 21. Of course, the great pirate and humanitarian to commemorate the wall. And that had been removed, and a ad for a hard lemonade beverage had been placed up, so that angered people, including Clemente's own son on social media. And then the other PR snafu was these Bucko bricks in which people had purchased personalized bricks of sorts that were put in the pavement outside of PNC Park. So they're just folks' names or messages to loved one, honoring deceased loved ones. Some fans had noticed those were removed, and they had asked I think it was a local CBS affiliate in Pittsburgh, had gone out to investigate, and they found that they'd been removed without, the Pirates had not informed anyone, but they'd removed these bricks and they'd sent them to this recycling center. So I think it was KDK in Pittsburgh had images, photos of just this heap of Bucko bricks, these personal mementos that had just been discarded without any notice. The Pirates claimed that they were going to, put up another way to honor folks that had purchased these bricks and whatnot. But just to have that image and not give fans a chance to reclaim the bricks that they have. Like in Cleveland, my own dad had bought us bricks back when Progressive Field opened, and when they removed those, they gave fans a location date to pick them up if they wanted to retrieve them when they'd been removed from renovation. So I think you saw all that, and then we saw the team chants and just all this animosity just been reaching a boiling point. And I think just in addition to the on-the-field failures, the PR hits of just fans are at a breaking point in Pittsburgh, and I think we can understand that just as baseball fans.
Travis, so you mean they took the bricks out, got rid of them, and now they're going to resell more bricks probably to try to make more money without giving the old people? That's crazy to me that you don't give the people a chance to come get their bricks, and you do this without. I don't know. Maybe I'm way off on this one, but that just seems crazy that they would not give people a chance to come get the brick that they paid their money for.
Right. You'd think it would be simple PR to allow the folks, if I think they were intending to replace them, but just even if you are, just allow folks to reclaim them. It just seems like an obvious PR thing to do. Other teams have done it. There's a roadmap. And I think the Pirates over the weekend, it was supposed to, I believe the first 20,000 in for the Skenes bobblehead day, I believe it was Saturday. It was supposed to be limited to 20,000, but I think the Pirates are looking for some PR wins. So now any fan who was at the game will get a Skenes bobblehead. So they're trying to make up with some other PR victories. But yeah, it is one thing after another in Pittsburgh, and it's a shame because there's a sleeping giant fan base there. We saw it think back to the 2013 wild card game, that environment there when Pirates beat the Reds and Johnny Cueto dropped the ball on the mound. So there is a sleeping giant fan base. We see how the Steelers are supported, the Penguins when they're in the playoffs, how they're supported. So, this isn't a city that needs a new stadium. They have a great stadium. They have a great sleeping giant fan base. They just need they need a better on the field product. They need more ownership commitment, and I think baseball would be better if there's a legitimate effort to build a winner around Paul Skenes and Bubba Chandler, who's on the doorstep. So hopefully Pirates fans get that one day.
All right, I have two questions. First one's not serious. The second one's serious. Can you confirm that they sent Surfside hard lemonades to the people who their bricks got taken out instead of sending the bricks back? So it's kind of like a full circle thing.
Yeah, maybe it was a Clemente edition Surfside lemonade can. I don't know. But yeah, yeah.
The serious question is, because I saw Roberto Clemente Jr. and his family throughout the first pitch. Do you have any idea or inkling, or have you heard anything? Has the relationship been mended? Because synonymous with the Pirates is the Clementes. Roberto Clemente, what he did for Latin players in the game is seen throughout baseball. But in the Pirates organization, I mean, you go down to Pirate City. You go down to Pirate City in the DR, the complex that they built down there. Like, it's Roberto Clemente everywhere. Has that relationship been mended, or is this something that will take a little bit of time?
I think if it has been damaged, it will be mended over time. And to the Pirates' credit, there's many tributes to Clemente throughout PNC Park, throughout the organization, as you mentioned. But this was one of the most visible ones. So why take that signage down on the wall, the Clemente wall? It was an odd choice not to communicate with the family or giving anyone a heads up. Just these unforced communication errors. So you can make an argument that 21 should be retired everywhere. And the Pirates have, I believe, pushed for that. So I think we'll see that relationship mended over time. This is just an unfortunate case that, of course, had a lot of eyeballs on it too, since it was the home opening weekend, and in addition to all the other Pirates-related issues going on. But yeah, it was an unforced error, and you don't like to see those.
All right, so let's get into the team for a moment here. What did you see this weekend that is really not working out for the ball club? Of course, they lose on the Skenes bobblehead day. I mean, his quotes seem honestly kind of depressing, where he's like, positive things in friendships don't win championships. The other thing I don't want to overlook is Andrew McCutchen tweeting. His tweet got overshadowed by Acuña's tweet, but Kutch put out a tweet like, "You're sitting me? Kutch looks pretty damn good for them right now." So what are they doing? They doing a little platoon city with Ben Cherington and the boys in the front office? And why is the offense so bad?
Yeah, it's I saw the McCutchen tweet, and that was interesting. This lineup, there's just so many below replacement level performers right now offensively, and it's unfortunate because you think about Skenes, of course, Mitch Keller is at the very least a competent innings eater. Hopefully they have Jared Jones coming back in a few months. Again, you have Bubba Chandler on the doorstep, arguably the top pitching prospect in baseball. But you have this lineup that just has too many voids in it outside of O'Neal Cruz, and Brian Reynolds has been dealing with a triceps injury, and he's your most consistent offensive performer. And just to, one of the big issues is under Ben Cherington, they have not produced an above average position player yet in year 6, I think, of the regime. I think they've had some more promising drafts later, but internally they haven't found solutions. Their big off-season addition was Spencer Horwitz from the Blue Jays, who's been hurt with a wrist injury. And even Horwitz at his best is probably a platoon option at first base. So, the other external adds are, Tommy Pham and Andrew McCutchen, who's off to a solid start, but these are older players. And to think that there's no ability to add more, to not be a little more urgent in making a trade if ownership isn't commitment, it's a little baffling considering the young starting pitching wealth you have as a club. It's almost like the equivalent to having a star quarterback in the NFL on a rookie deal with these young arms. To not build around that advantage is baffling, and it has a lot of folks in Pittsburgh questioning, if not now, when. This should be the time to bolster that lineup and build a better supporting cast for Skenes and company.
Well, as Skenes says, positive things in friendships don't win championships. So another team we want to ask you about is the Rockies. They got all kinds of positive things in friendships going on in Denver. They draw almost 3 million fans a year, but they still aren't very good. What the heck's going on in Denver?
Yeah, I looked this up, and not that it's a be-all end-all, but the Fangraphs playoff odds as of April 20th, the Rockies haven't had better than 0% playoff chances, according to Fangraphs, since 2019, I believe. So it's just part of that is a testament to the strength of the NL West.
Wait, can you say that again? Because I don't think my earpiece was working. Say that again, please.
Yeah,
since 2019, April 20th?
April 20th. They haven't had, maybe it's higher than 1% playoff chances, but it's been below 1% as of April 20th every year since 2019.
The joke writes itself that since 420, the Rockies can't get high enough. There's a million jokes. There's a million jokes in there, but go ahead.
It's unfortunate because it's such a great ballpark to go watch a game. And it's a challenge to win in Denver, of course, to build a pitching staff. And it speaks to the quality of the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Padres, of course. But the Rockies are viewed as being behind the curve in not just analytics, but player development and how well they've scouted and developed. So it's organizational. It's not even so much a spending issue like in Pittsburgh, as they've signed players like Kris Bryant to large deals. It's more of a are you on the cut? Are you involved in creating the best practices possible from not just analytics, building out that department, but player development, scouting? I think you talk to folks in the game, and they're one of the lower ranked organizations across the board in those categories. So they really need sweeping investment in those areas and change in the organization. And I don't know, they've been slow to pivot. So when will they? Will it require an eventual ownership change whenever that day might come? But yeah, the Rockies are behind the curve in a lot of areas.
Let's go to Spencer Strider and the conversation that you had with him about his second elbow surgery. Are we at the point in the game where we still don't know anything? I think one of your quotes was Dr. Meister even didn't really give him an idea of where he should be. If I read that correctly, when Strider was talking to you about it, are we at the point where such a good player that's young like this, having a second surgery, he could be the one that's the next Nathan Eovaldi, or is he going to fall into the category of every other pitcher that has had their second Tommy John surgery or bracing, whatever, elbow surgery?
Yeah, I spoke to Strider because I was curious. Of course, so many pitchers have had Tommy John now. I believe it's like something outrageous, like 36% of active major league pitchers have had Tommy John. And the first time you have Tommy John, it is something of a miracle procedure where almost all pitchers come back, and the majority come back to a performance level near where they were prior to the surgery. But it's that second operation, that second Tommy John, where the track record is really poor. MLB's injury study in December, I believe it was 50. They found 56% of second Tommy John recipients return near their previous level, which is not good. And Jeffrey Dugas, who innovated the internal brace procedure, told me that only 42% of second Tommy John cases have exceeded 10-plus out starts in the major leagues after that. So it's really the second operation that's so troublesome. It's second Tommy John. And I wanted to speak with Strider because he wanted to avoid Tommy John if he could, and he did. But as you mentioned, going in that procedure before he was put under anesthesia, it was Meister who did the surgery. And as good as MRIs are, Meister didn't want to commit until he actually opened up the elbow, and he wanted to have a menu of options available, including Tommy John. But when he began the operation, he found that Strider's damage wasn't as bad as they had feared. And because of the location of his injury, he was a candidate for the internal brace. And I was curious in speaking to Strider and writing this piece, is why do so many second Tommy Johns fail? And are there breakthroughs and surgery and medical sports science advancements where we can have some better outcomes in second operations? And can we avoid second Tommy Johns with something like an internal brace? So Strider was, and we can get into details if you'd like, but Strider was a candidate for the internal brace. And the hope is that there can be some better outcomes. That because of how the procedure works, there will be more successes. Like Brian Wu is an example in Seattle. in the NFL, Brock Purdy is probably the most notable success story of the internal brace. But Strider did take a risk when he had the surgery. I think there had only been 40 pitchers above the Division I college level that had the internal brace done. So it was something to go into that surgery room and be open to that as an option. It was a little risk, but Strider is he's a very science, data-minded based player, and he trusted Meister, he trusted the early returns, and so far in the field, it looks encouraging for Strider.
Travis, last one for you. Chandler Simpson made his debut this weekend. I love speed. I've been looking forward to this. He's getting some Billy Hamilton comps, although technically, if you look at the power, it's even less than what Billy brought to the table. I just want to know if he's going to get on base enough to really be a problem. Plus, right now, they actually have some outfielders playing well. So anyway, add it all up. Are you excited about this player? What do you think about him? What do, I guess, numbers say in terms of how he could fare in the big leagues?
Yeah, just as a fan of the game, it would be so great if he can stick for the Rays and be this 100 stolen base threat at the top of the lineup. That'd be great for the game. We do hear the Billy Hamilton comps, and Hamilton, if he could have just gotten on base, he could have been such a fun, dynamic player. And I don't think Chandler is going to be Simpson, because if you look at his minor league track record, he doesn't have any power, right? I don't think he's ever hit an out of the park home run, but he's always been an elite contact hitter. And last season, he had an 8.5% strikeout rate in the minors, which amongst there are like 1,100 qualified minor league hitters, he had the 13th lowest strikeout rate. So this is a player with great back-to-ball skills. And when he puts the ball on the ground in play, as we saw over the weekend, he's a threat to get on base. The hit that broke up Fried's no-hitter. Well, I guess later ruled a hit, but he is a threat. He's going to contact the ball. He is going to get on base at a greater clip than Hamilton ever did. And like when Simpson told me in the spring, when he gets on first base, he views himself as being in scoring position. So, and we saw that first steal in the second game. So I do think he's a better bet to stick, to be a productive hitter in the major leagues. And he knows who he is. Like, he is trying to model his training routines off like a Luis Arias. He's not trying to put the ball in the air. He knows he does his damage when he's a low launch angle guy. When he's putting the ball in, the grounders are good for Chandler Simpson. So I hope he's not Billy Hamilton as far as the hitting profile. I don't think he will be. I think there's a legitimate chance he'll be an everyday player. But it all comes down to the bat, and there's some fear that pitchers will knock it out of his hands. But I do think he'll make enough contact. Even weak contact is going to be good enough for a guy with just incredible. You see those home to first times, they're just incredible. So hopefully for the sport, for the Rays, it works.
I mean, he already started almost a riot with Yankee fans yesterday when he he was going to beat that ground ball out. And I mean, holy cow. I mean, that should have been a hit. I don't know. But his speed, you saw it right there. Goldschmidt, as soon as he went to the right, he was safe. Fried wasn't beating him there. That's why, I mean, I'm glad someone else got it. Mangum, I think, got a hit later on. But I'm happy someone else got a hit, because that poor official score, that should have been a hit from the get-go. And I know we're going to talk about it later. But come on, Travis, that's a hit.
Yeah. Yeah, if Simpson makes the first baseman move to his right to field a ball, it's going to be a hit. Even Kevin Cash was saying that in the spring. So I'm glad for the official scorer's sake that that there was another hit in that game. But that was a hit.
Exactly, yeah. There was a play in the minors where I think it went to the first baseman, and he was way closer to the bag, and Simpson beat him.
I saw Johnny Damon do that in high school. He was the fastest dude I ever saw, and he hit a ground ball where the first baseman like one step to his right, and he beat it, and I was like, that's real speed right there. And I mean, Simpson looks faster than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah, I hope he makes it, because it'd be awesome. Like,
I hope he doesn't beat. Yeah, not that like Terrence Gore and those guys, even Quentin Berry, they didn't have nice careers, but I want to see this dude do some stuff. Billy Hamilton had a nice career.
Yeah.
But I feel like this guy could be maybe better.
Yeah, just get on base.
Couldn't steal first. That was the biggest problem.
Right. You just got to get on first, and then it's a double. So then he's a doubles machine, because then you're stealing second most of the time if you're Chandler Simpson. So, Travis, this was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Always great to have you on. Again, encourage everyone to give Travis a follow and then check out all the work he's doing for TheScore and everywhere else. Appreciate you. Talk soon.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you. All right, FT fam, we have Jose Berríos versus Cal Raleigh. Sign stealing 108 next. Ooh. New music.
Oh, I don't listen. Glad you guys are working hard on it, though.
Always. New music, same meal plan. Hungry Root. Let's talk about it. So you get your own personal shopper, high quality, nutritious food. You get to smile every day like Kratz when you go online and you see that they already picked what you wanted, Kratz. So it saves you a few minutes.
Figured it out. Figured out how many days a week you want it. Maybe 7 days a week isn't how often you want it. But the best part is you lock it in and then they start adding the snacks. I always talk about the snacks. Like, I'm a snackman.
You are.
I get hangry like Claudia if I don't get my snacks.
That's our producer. So no, how do you say high fructose?
High fructose corn syrup.
Corn syrup. So
By
if you're
the way,
getting
nobody
snacks,
knows who Claudia is. You got to call her producer lady.
Producer, I said. Artificial sweeteners, they're not there. Preservatives, they're not there. So that's why if you're a snacker, they're going to pick better snacks for you. So take advantage of the FT offer for a limited time, 40% off your first box plus a free item in every box for life. Hungryroot.com/FT. Use code FT. Hungryroot.com/FT. Code FT to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. Hey, there's a game already done, and we're not even halfway through our show, so we can talk about it for a minute. AJ and I were watching. It's always a cool broadcast. It's over now, though. Boston Marathon Day, 2 hours, 14 minutes. Very, very brisk. You had to get there on time.
Guess who didn't win again? But they don't have the worst record. They don't have the worst record in baseball, which is amazing.
Rockies.
The Rockies got them. 5-16 versus 4-17.
I think the Rockies might be worse than the White Sox this year. It's pretty bad out there.
Wow.
It'll be neck and neck.
Yeah.
It's a big statement.
Close. It is.
It's a tough division, though, for the Rockies.
That's why.
Do you think they're going to lose more than 120 games?
Do you think the White Sox are?
No.
No, I'm saying I think they might be the worst team this year.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, Kratz said the White Sox are going to lose more games than they lost last year. By the way, I had Hungry Root for lunch today. It's delicious.
There you go.
I had delicious Hungry Root for lunch. You know
I
what?
did say
Kratz.
They haven't shown me anything different. And they lost Martin Perez
for 60 days.
Oh my gosh!
60 days,
yeah, he hit the IL this morning.
So, and Chase Mydroth, who they're counting on, hurt his thumb. I think he got jammed too much. But
Bueller shoved today.
Yeah,
7 innings, 9 punch outs. Christian Campbell 2 RBIs.
But everyone seems to do that a lot against certain teams.
Very true.
Good pick me up. Hungry Root today. Good stuff.
What was it? Salad? Chicken?
Chicken.
Fish?
These chicken.
Chicken?
Yeah. It's delicious, though. 20 minutes, done, made.
Boom. Who's hungry? What's the beef? Jose Berrios versus Cal Raleigh is the beef that you didn't know you needed, but it was kind of interesting this weekend. They thought that Cal was delivering signs to hitters, and Cal said no. And benches, friendly, hellos, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to say cleared. So here's what Cal was doing, making some moves as pitches were coming through, and some people thought they were catching certain things. The funny thing is, whatever they were doing, if they were doing something, none of it worked, okay? Rowdy struck out on 4 pitches, and Rowdy had a huge weekend, so it wasn't from Cal. Dylan Moore popped out 1 pitch later, and then later when Cal doubled after they had gotten into it, next batter, whoever it was, struck out on 4 pitches. That was it. So they didn't get anything out of it. Let's start with Kratz. Do you think he was stealing any signs? And also, who really cares? Because you're allowed to do this.
Yeah, I don't understand why this is still why we're still pissed about this. Like, we've been able to hide it whatever way we can hide it. If you're out at second now, like, everything's fair game. And I read something that a Toronto writer was saying, Jose Berrios does some of the best hiding of the pitches. So he must have had them in another way. There's a billion other ways that you can figure it out. Even if before he gets it into his glove, the way that Alejandro Kirk sets up, the way that Alejandro Kirk sets up late, early, slides in, slides away, whatever it is, like you can relay that stuff. That is helpful, but it clearly didn't happen in the time. But I love this. I love it. They're locked in. They're afraid someone else is taking their signs. That means they care about the game.
I'll tell you this. All the years I played, there was one team that was accused of stealing signs more than anyone, and it wasn't the Mariners. It was the Blue Jays. We had to go to the day every time we went to Toronto. Before PitchCom, we had to do multiple signs, change them every inning. Because there was a dude in center field, and they're going to deny it, but there was a dude standing up and sitting down on certain pitches that we caught as the White Sox. We caught him. Mm-hmm. Dead ass caught him. With a little, he had like a little, we sent up our freaking, Rick Hahn, we sent up Rick Hahn to look at him.
Rick Hahn did it?
Matt Thornton sat like this, his back to home plate. Like this, in the bullpen. And Kratz, the bullpens are way up high. And he only looked at this one guy in a white jacket. And he stood up and sat down. And he called every pitch. He's like breaking ball, fastball, every pitch. And he wasn't even looking at the field. He did it for a whole inning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys tell on him?
What were we going to do? Rick Hahn, our
Commissioner
GM, went up there. And there was a dude, he had like a little camera. And he would sit up. And Rick Hahn went up to him and said something. The guy left. From that moment on, we friggin' multiple signs every inning, switched it, changed signs every inning, the whole time in Toronto. And look, Kratz played for the Blue Jays, so he can't say nothing.
Yes, he can. I can say whatever I want. I was there for,
what did they say?
I don't know how long, 3 months. Dude, that accusation is one of many against other
listen,
teams.
I don't believe it either, but I'm telling you that one, I saw with my own eyes. I was catching and I heard about it and I could see the guy and then he went up there and he was gone. And I'm just saying.
How about this one? How about this one in Chicago with Chris Sale and Victor Martinez?
Oh, the bullpen got the binoculars?
No, that was Mick Billmeyer with the Phillies in Colorado. He got in trouble for having binoculars. There's always something. There's always something like that. The one with the white T-shirt or the white jacket guy, I heard about that before I got to the Blue Jays. I think that probably would have been when I was there as a minor leaguer. So we heard about it in the minor leagues. And Vernon Wells is like, no chance. And then when Jose Bautista was there, people were blaming Jose for stuff because Jose, had his career before, and then he went to the Blue Jays, and he had an unbelievable career for those years. The one thing that people forget is maybe that was happening, maybe it wasn't. I'm not saying it was or it wasn't, but exactly what Cal Raleigh was doing, if he was sending signs in, guys were doing that forever. So what you need to start doing is looking up, okay, so-and-so's on second base. What is his batting average when this person's on second base? And that's when you start getting the correlation of dudes that are sending signs in. If the Mariners are that good at sending signs in, they ain't working right now. They need to figure something else out. And in this case, I don't think he was sending anything in because big league hitters that know what's coming usually do some good damage, or they chase a pitch that is like way off the plate. They're rarely off balance.
Listen, I don't know, but I'm just telling you what I was told and what I saw, and that's it in Toronto. No, listen, they denied it. I know they denied it. Whatever. Great. That's why we fought back with changing signs every inning, right? It's fine. Here's my thing. If you're stealing pitches now with PitchCom, then you ain't getting them from the catcher unless he sets up a certain way. You're getting them from the pitcher if you're getting them. In the video I saw, Cal Raleigh's just standing there. So I don't know. Listen, I know their hitting coach, Kevin Seitzer, was always big on trying to get signs and trying to relay them when I played for him. But listen, I don't know how you get them now unless you can see it in your glove or you do what Severino was doing when he would look to third, right? There has to be a tip somewhere there.
The pitcher might have had a tell.
The pitcher or the catcher. Now listen, we used to get pitchers off catchers too now, right? Because they would set up different ways for different pitches, and you could have a base coach do something. Now, I mean, that was the thing too. So there was always people looking for stuff, right? But maybe Berríos was tipping. I don't know. Again, I don't know what was going on. But I know Cal Raleigh, every time he goes to Toronto, hits like 7 homers. So maybe they need to try to do something different with him. That dude, like, he should play for the Blue Jays. I'm serious. Like,
Seriously.
I mean, he crushes them every time.
9 homers, and now he's got a Bash brother, and Rowdy Tellez had a weekend, man.
Rowdy Tellez, this was his revenge weekend.
It was.
He tried to take that dude out at first.
Mm-hmm. We can show that. So they won 2 out of 3. They won 4 or 5, the Mariners, by the way. And Rowdy Tellez had a grand slam in that game where the two sides got a little friendlier. And then he also hit a 2-run homer yesterday. He's on fire right now, our boy Rowdy, but he truck sticked. What's his name? Roden? I'm forgetting the first name.
Yeah. Yep.
Alan?
Did he kick his helmet when he went by too?
No.
Kick his helmet just for good luck?
He tagged him, walked away, and didn't say anything, nothing, right? So there's the truck stick with him kind of flexing the back, getting the hit. Roden tested himself out because obviously we'll get into this later, but Arise had a scary collision.
Yeah, but Arise was face to shoulder. That's why his was bad.
But they ran right to him. It's like, are you okay? Whatever. Rowdy was just like, who's up next?
First of all, I texted Rowdy right after, and I told him he was lucky it wasn't me.
What did he say?
Lucky you, or something. I'm like, dude, you would have been on the IL for the rest of your
Rowdy's
career.
bigger than you, though. I'm not saying for like a fight, but just if you guys both collide.
If I'm going full speed and I hit Rowdy, he's going down. Okay? Let's just say that now.
I don't know.
I'm not going down like that. I promise.
No. You've got size on Mr. Roden.
There's a guy you can ask. His name's Michael Barrett. He got real mad. Then he swung at me. I mean, he didn't stay still where I hit him.
I want to see it. Rowdy's bigger than Michael.
Rowdy's like a bowling pin, upside down bowling pin, though. All right, you just got to hit him low, take him low, sweep the leg, Johnny.
Jeez. Rowdy's listed
vicious.
6'4", 270.
Okay.
What are you listed? Do you know what you're listed on Baseball
Probably
Reference?
6'3", 250.
Nailed it.
Which is not my real weight either.
But either way, that's actually pretty close.
Yeah, I'm closer to the 265. I played my whole career like 265.
Don't sleep on the size here.
I can win. You know I can win every time, Kratz? This is way off subject. I can win the guess your weight if you go to the carnival. I win that every time because they're like 210, and I'm like, give me my free blow-up pet unicorn doll thing.
210.
Oh, they're always like 220. And I'm like, yeah, right.
Baseball players are actually tough because often you'll look at the player and you'll be like, oh, okay, like he's a big dude, but not huge. And then the lower half is
until you
big
see
for
baseball
most guys.
players up close. People think because they see Jose Altuve and they see Dustin Pedroia, and they're like, oh, they're little. And then they see real like you walk. I say this all the time. Walk into a major league clubhouse, and I'm big, and these dudes are massive now. Pitchers, every pitcher's like 6'5" and bigger, and every position player, if they're 6'2" or less, they are like. I mean, every one of them. There's no small people that play professional sports.
I'm with you. Anyway, I just want to reiterate.
Rowdy, what did they say in Major League?
They said a lot of things.
No, what did they say? Get off the tracks when the train's coming through, Rowdy, just so you know.
Mariners, by the way, are 12-10. So are the Blue Jays. It's fine. It's good.
They're fine. 22 games in.
Hanging around. Yeah, it's early. All right, we'll swing back. We have more to get to, including the Yankees no-hitter watch that went away, but also Aaron Judge got mad, which is pretty rare.
Robbed.
We'll talk about that. We still have to get to the Angels, too, and they had a nice weekend. All coming up. The Reds won a game yesterday by a final score of, who knows it? Who's got it?
24-2.
24-2.
So, doesn't matter. Run differential. It only counts as 7-2 in your world.
It should. So the Reds picked up 22 runs on their run differential board.
Austin wins revenge game. 6 for 7 from the 9 slot with 6 stakes. 6 for 7.
It's a good day. It's a pretty good day. Pretty good week for him.
All right, guys. AJ started it. Let's get the run differential rankings right now. Who's won? Gotta be quick.
The Cubs were one.
Yep, Cubs are still there. Plus 41.
Okay.
Number 2. I'll give you.
Padres.
Yep, Padres plus 35. Number 3 is number 3 is by themselves. Who's number 3?
What league are they in?
It's the Reds.
Oh, well,
the Reds climbed up to number 3 with your run differential. They're plus 32 after that.
Small sample size, okay?
Plus 22
small sample
spot.
Size.
Yeah, but
they can
they're not a bad team.
I didn't say they were. I just said run differential puts them at plus 32.
Means they're about to get hot. That's what it means, Scott.
By the way, you know what the best part about the Reds game yesterday was? Nobody went over. There's usually like one guy, he scored 25 runs, and there's one guy that's like 0 for 7. I mean, Friedel was 1 for 6, and Ellie is 1 for 4, Scott. So, and then you throw in Espinal, so the shortstop was 1 for 6. But other than that, I mean, you got 5 for 7, 6 for 7, which is unbelievable.
Did you see that diving stop by Ellie? That was pretty good.
That was pretty sick.
Good. That was
and then
sick.
He came up and hit a dinger the next inning.
Yeah.
The thing that was cool about the Reds lineup, it was the 8-9 hitter that had 13 hits between the two of them. 13 hits and 13 stakes between the 8 and 9 hitter. 2 worst hitters in the lineup. Something that will never change in baseball. The worst hitter is the 8th hitter, and the 9th hitter is the second worst hitter.
No, that's not true. It used to be different. It used to be the 8-hole hitter was the guy who couldn't hit, and then you had a pitcher.
Well, there you go. So, even worse.
Better Than Box Scores is presented by Homage. We're all wearing Homage shirts. We'll talk more about them in a little bit. Let's start with Aaron Judge's home run called back. Was it a home run or not?
I thought it was fair.
I haven't spoken to one human being that has said, nope, what are you looking at? That's a foul ball. And then you review it.
But even the still shot, the ball's, this is the foul pole, the ball's like way fair, like over here. So again, I don't know if the angle's right down the line, but the problem is that you don't know if the camera. How can we not have cameras right down the line?
Minor League Park, as Judge said it himself.
But
He's like,
the foul poles are so low. The ball is obviously spinning to the left because it's got. But I mean, if you follow it, again, I don't know if that's right down the line. What did Todd? Todd was there. What did he say?
Todd said that was a crime, and then. Yeah, go ahead, Kratz. You were listening.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, Todd said their angle was tough. The angle that they had was more directly behind home plate, so they're offset. That camera angle, the second one where they have the circle around the ball like it's a UFO because it went so far, that's from like high first base cam where they're set up. That's not directly down the line. Whether this is fair or foul, people can argue it all the time. How do they miss this? How do they miss the significant, like having a camera right down the line, having a camera right down the fence so that you can see home runs, fair or foul? Like this is a Major League Baseball thing to me. This isn't like they chose to play at this place. They had to because of the hurricane. They could have had this set up. I'm not going to put up a larger foul pole. I get that. But I can't say if it's fair or foul. Nobody can definitively say it was fair or foul.
Stop it.
That ball's fair. Second of all, why don't in every park can we put a stationary camera right down the lines? The lines ain't changing. Just put a stationary camera right down the line. And just leave it there. No one has to man it. Just put a stationary camera that you can see straight up and down. Maybe put a laser or something shooting up to the sky so the foul pole keeps extending. I don't know. There's got to be a way. We got technology now. I was at a game this weekend at Pap's alma mater, Mississippi State. A guy from Florida hit a ball. I was literally sitting on the first baseline. I mean, right there. And he hit a ball, the same thing, down the right field line. I thought it was fair as hell. Umpire called a foul. They went to review, called a foul, but it was over the foul pole. You couldn't tell. But from where, I mean, I was literally sitting like this down the line. I mean, I was in the first row down the line, and I'm like, that ball's fair. And they said, no, foul ball. And then but still, it's like, I just don't understand how in today's world with technology, you can put a GoPro camera right there that you can go to and shoot a laser or something up there. And if the ball's on this side of the laser, I don't know. There's got to be a way to do this.
Well, we're in a minor league park. What if the Rays make the playoffs and something like that happened in the playoffs?
Well, they're not going to be playing there. Remember, they said if they make the playoffs, they have to play somewhere else. Them in Oakland. Sacramento.
They have to play somewhere else?
I thought that's what they were talking about. They might play somewhere else.
Sacramento will, because they have no affiliation there. The A's don't really care about them. They're just using them. But with Tampa, I don't know. I don't really think they have another spot to go. They're not going to go to like Miami to play a playoff game. Let's see them get in there first. I'm going to tell myself to hold my horses. But Judge was pissed, okay? He goes, yeah, it was a fair ball. It's not on the umpires. It's tough in a situation like this. We're at a minor league park. The foul poles aren't as high. That's why you have replay. They have every angle, but that's a fair ball. Aaron Boone, who got tossed after the Judge AB, it was a strike. I mean, it was a nice pitch on a slider there, but he was just pissed about what happened before that. Boone came out to kind of be like, all right, you go back. We need you. I'll go get booted because I do all the time. And Booney after the game was like, the audacity of the call standing is remarkable. It's a homer.
True. I don't know.
True.
By the way, I'm not going to say what he wrote, but there's a guy in the chat, Brady Anderson Sideburns, that had a funny line. So, Scott, you should read it. But I'm not going to say what he wrote, but it's pretty funny. See, it was funny. Yeah. Childish humor always makes me laugh.
It is. It's a little PG-13, potentially rated R. So we'll keep it on the DL for the
standing up for his guy. Aaron Boone, stands up for his guys a lot. We talked about Snit standing up for his guys. Aaron Boone we call them savages in the box. And he stands up for his guys, man. I'll give him credit. He does it. And this is one of those times where he stood up for his guy. He took the ejection. Maybe he went down the street. Steinbrenner.
There's a lot to do.
A lot of things to do. A lot of PG-13 things to do around there. Maybe he went to the Bucs Stadium across the street. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places around there.
A lot of.
They got to fly out. out. He had to get on the bus. He was just the first one to get his bag packed.
Good dude, though. You played for him, Kratz. You know. All right, let's get to a few other things from the series. So the Yanks win 3 of 4. Okay. There was a no-hitter watch going on with Max Fried, and that evaporated in the 8th. First batter, Jake Mangum. There you go. And either way, it didn't matter because right before that, we get the announcement from the official scorer that they actually changed the Chandler Simpson error on Goldschmidt to a base knock, which actually made sense. On the broadcast, Michael Kay was like, could we just have waited, though? Could we have seen how this played out? I'm like, I don't know. What do you do there if you notice you messed up? Because
I'm actually better that he changed it now.
It could have gotten worse.
Because if think about if he gets into the 9th, or let's say, God forbid, he doesn't give up another hit, and then the official score's like, they celebrate. He's like, just kidding. There's a knock. He did right, man. Listen, Kratz remembers this, but listen, Bill Matthews, good for you. Great for you. You made your decision. You said it with your chest. Good for you. Here's my thing. This used to happen all the time. Dude, I remember guys I played with would call the official scorer themselves from the dugout. They'd pick up the phone and be like, that's a friggin' hit. I'm going to come up there and whoop your butt. Right? And they'd change them. They would change them. Managers would call. They've changed the rule now where you have to send in video. The agent has to do all this. Literally, you used to have dudes in the middle of a game go to the phone, pick it up, and call the press box and be like, let me talk to the official scorer. And they say, what? And he's like, change that now or else. And they're like, okay. Especially at home because they also want to keep their jobs at home. I mean, it is. We're human beings. People want to keep their jobs, man.
MLB stepped in the right way to fix that stuff.
Yeah. I'm glad Mangum got a hit because it took all of it out of it, but I thought it was the right call when he changed it. And he did it right then because there was no drama. Right? What was it? It was already into the 8th, right? So if he waited any longer.
Also, he was at 90-something pitches. He hasn't gone to 100 even yet this year. And I know it's early in the season. He's had an injury history and all that. Can you imagine, Kratz, if we're in the 9th, he's at 124 pitches. He gets the no-no, and then they're like, nah, we're messing with you. You didn't get a no-no.
When has that ever happened? Have they ever celebrated a no-no and then gone back to the official score? Because I have, even on the Yankees broadcast, they were like, that was going to be a hit. In the 6th inning, they were saying it when it happened. And then after they overturned it and Magnum got the hit, they were like, yeah, Chandler's probably was a hit. I love it that this guy, I'm not a big official scorer fan because I think sometimes they can hide behind the secrecy of, their decisions. And I think they give too many people hits now. But I think he did the right thing here. You can't go into the ninth and be like, oh, I'm still reviewing it. And they were saying on the broadcast,
you're done. You're out.
Kratz, wait.
Yeah, your mic.
Yeah, your mic just stopped you, so we're going to reset you. But you did have good words, and actually the mic started picking up right at the end of a good sentence there. So one sec, Kratz. We're coming back here. Okay. I'm going to switch to subjects. I do want to get to one more thing from this series. Is Devin Williams okay?
He wasn't Saturday? Was it Saturday when he
had the
4-run lead?
8-4 lead, vanished. 7 batters faced, 1 walk, 4 hits. His walk rate's like double from what it was last year. But the thing is, people are
hitting him. Did Pete Alonso kill Devin Williams? His confidence? That home run?
Well, what's the problem?
I don't know. He walks, obviously, but he's not getting the swing and miss he was getting.
No. And one thing the Yankees do that is not that innovative, but seems to be a thing for many relievers who come over there is the Rays plan. Fernando Cruz, your splitter's nasty. We're going to throw it way, way, way more.
Tommy Kahnle,
your changeup's nasty. We're going to throw it way, way, way more. Devin Williams, post-game, they're talking to him because his changeup usage right now is up from 45% last year to 57%. And he said, yeah, maybe I'm using my airbender a little bit too much. Now,
listen, the more guys see certain pitches, the better your chances are to hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, Kratz will tell you, when you're the closer, guys lock in a little bit more. That's why they all outs are equal. They're not all equal, trust me. When you have a 1-run lead in the ninth and you're the team, trust me, dudes lock in. They're like, all right, I'm usually facing this nasty dude that's coming in from the bullpen, and I don't want to look stupid, so I'm really going to lock in for these at-bats. That's why guys who can do it are so special, because it's a hard job to close. It's a hard job to get a hit off a closer, but it's really hard to get those last 3 outs.
Yep. Kratz, you seen anything with Devin Williams? I mean, you had Chandler Simpson with the opposite field knock that went to the left. That went to the corner and left. That was his first hit, actually. That was a fastball. It was definitely middle, a little up. So maybe there's command issues since a lot of middle quadrant wise. Brandon Lau 2-run single that tied it. That was the changeup where it was middle, and usually that thing dives more. That one didn't have the same break that you've seen from him in the past. So Kratz, did you catch anything?
He never was a guy that was just pinpoint accuracy. Yeah, you look at the numbers. He was a tightrope walk when he was over in Milwaukee. It's not going well for him right now. Like, the usage is up because it's a really good pitch, and maybe they felt like the Brewers weren't using it enough. And Devin Williams has an opportunity to shake it off too. It's early. You hope he can make the adjustment, whatever that adjustment is. But I promise a team like the Yankees, they have the people on it that can evaluate, is there something with the spin? Is there something that's, his changeup spin was elite. I'm looking at the numbers right now. It still is elite. That's what gives him that view. Like, everyone thinks, it's going to be a heater out of his hand. The spin looks like a heater, and it just never gets there because his changeup spin is actually, his average changeup spin is actually faster than his fastball spin. So it looks very similar to what it did last year. So I don't see anything different in that sense.
Here's my question. Is he throwing it too much? Because as a hitter, if I'm facing Devin Williams, I don't want to look stupid on a changeup, so I'm going up there. And if he's throwing it 50, would you say 7%?
Yep.
There's a good chance, especially as me being a left-handed hitter, guess what I'm going to get? A changeup. And after I see one, I'm going to be like, okay, I've seen this now. Before he would throw 98 and he'd rush 97, 98 up every once in a while. Now if he's just throwing a lot of changeups, if I'm a hitter, I'm going, all right, well, and he doesn't throw a breaking ball really. So you get two pitches. But he also threw more fastballs. He threw more fastballs than changeup. Now, Tommy Kahnle is a special dude. I don't know how the heck he throws 47 changes in a row and not give up hits, whatever that number was. But you can't throw a certain pitch to, especially when you start seeing guys a bunch of times. Eventually, someone's going to make an adjustment. Not the Rays did it. Give them credit, but they still won the game. So Yankees still won the game.
No, not that game.
Was that the game they lost?
That was the one they lost.
Okay,
8-4, and then Aranda had the walk-off.
Aranda
I mean, they won 3 out of 4, but that's why Yanks fans are like, we should have swept this series.
Sorry, I got confused with I was thinking of the Blue Jays and the Mariners.
Yes, but should they allow him to continue in the 9th? Because my thing is, you have Luke Weaver.
Yes.
Do you let him figure it out?
They're still doing fine. They're still doing fine.
Yeah, but
let him go. He'll figure it. If he doesn't figure it out soon, now he's going to have to blow a couple more.
Okay.
Then you make a change. But right now, you let him go.
Careful.
You brought this guy in.
Let him regain his confidence.
Yes, you traded for him. You let him grow a beard, right? Maybe that's the problem. Kratz, they shouldn't have changed the beard policy, right? Devin Williams, he's the sacrificial lamb for the beard policy. All the Yankee fans are like, see? What happens when we let a guy grow a beard? See? I'm kidding.
How about his?
Yeah.
I think that's stupid.
How about his average? How about his average velocity is down almost 2 miles per hour on his fastball? How about that? Now all of a sudden, everything's spinning, moving all the same. It's just getting a little bit closer to the speed of his changeup. So he just needs to throw some heavy balls. He needs to do some band work. He needs to do a couple of these. Banger. He's ready to go. He also pitched half a season last year. Like, he's got to stay healthy for this entire season. Maybe he's pitching through something. It's his free agent year. He wants to get his best contract. All things that they have to figure out internally. They should not take him out of the closer role. Luke Weaver's going to be there the whole year. Take a break. Get him right as the closer. You're not building a dude's confidence by putting him in the 8th inning when he's been Rolaids relief pitcher of the year like 2 or 3 of the last 3 years.
Okay. I'm saying if he's really pitching through something that's causing the
then you put him on the IL. We don't take him out of the closer's role.
Right. Then put him on the IL, because the one thing is you will not get paid if you're not good, and if peripheral numbers and velocity numbers, stuff like that, are down. Teams would rather see 2 good months, and they'll pay for that. Remember Rich Hill, 6 starts or whatever, and then he got a big contract. They'd rather see that than poor performance.
I mean, they're still 14-8. They're still in first place. So
it's not about the Yanks. It's just about him.
2 miles an hour is a lot of miles an hour.
What's 2?
It's a lot.
Well, yeah, when you're getting 93 in the zone like that, and then 86 in the zone like that, yeah, it's a little different. All right, last thing real quick. We already talked about it, and we'll probably get news in the next day or two, but Jazz got an actual suspension. We talked about this situation. He actually got a 1-game suspension for the social media-ish, and he's appealing it. I hope he wins. Fine him. Don't suspend a guy a game for sending out a tweet.
They're sending a message. You're not supposed to tweet during the games. That's one of the things. They're sending a message. Don't tweet during games.
I hope he fights it hard.
What?
Why?
Leave me alone. He's not in the game. He got booted.
Yeah, but that's what they don't want. They want people not to look on Twitter and be like, oh, Josh Chisholm got kicked out. Let's pay attention to that instead of the game.
Brought a lot of attention to that game.
Well, of course he did, but he shouldn't. That's one of the things. Kratz tell them, they say, you can't tweet during the game. We don't be on your, the Angels took away the cell phones. Like, it's a big deal. You definitely can't call an umpire out on Twitter during the game.
Why?
You can't call umpire out pretty much ever.
Well, that's stupid. He's a human being. Human beings can call out other human beings. This player's not performing well. This owner's not performing well. This umpire's not performing well. This broadcaster sucks.
But that's going to be his opinion.
Right.
Okay. So what say an umpire? Well, this hitter sucks.
He can. He still has his job to do. He can say this hitter sucks. This guy's annoying.
I'm going to call you out right now. You're being stupid.
What? Wait, a player's not allowed to call out an ump?
No.
Why?
Kratz, take over, because before I hit him with these Adidas flowers.
You can't call him out because you have to have a level of authority. Like, oh, yeah, whatever. Hey, everybody just, like, you can't just be a trolling generation that just calls everybody out. You have to have some type of accountability. I mean, Jamin wore me out in the chat last week when I said maybe they should change the rule. Maybe they should let guys tweet during the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you'd have every player like this on their phone during the game. You would. Stop it.
All right.
Stop it.
On our way out here.
Snowflake over here.
Why is that Snowflake for calling out?
Go ahead. We're going to
calling
break.
Someone
Snowflake.
out.
Going to break, Snowflake.
Actually, I know why you said it. Because I'm celebrating Elf.
It was Easter, not Christmas.
So?
Listen, should have Easter bunny.
I didn't get a shirt for that.
Well, that's not my fault.
Here we go. Thanks, Homage. I bought this using the code Foul Territory. Smiling's my favorite for AJ. AJ has an Homage shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Kratz has one too. Legends never die. That's the slogan. Visit
By the way,
homage.com/Foul Territory. Use code Foul Territory for 20% off for
hold on. By the way, not saying that I'm the coolest person alive, but when you get a shirt in the mail and you have the matching producer lady, let's cut to this. Or
bring it to cardboard. That's good. All right, so I'm Snowflake. He's Cardboard. And Kratz says legends never die. Liam Hendriks is back this weekend. There you go, Kratz. That looks good. It's a tough pup. Yeah.
See, I got one of those in the mail. I got the Sandlot, but I've never seen Sandlot, so I can't wear it.
Well, once you watch it, you can then put it on.
That's your
now it's became a badge of honor now that I'm just not going to watch it.
But
by the way, again, I want to say how cool is this? Like, seriously, I got this shirt, and then I went in my closet, and I have the same.
That is cool.
Like the same.
Now go.
Look at that.
Now go to your Netflix, Amazon account, or your local Blockbuster and rent The Sandlot. It's not a badge of honor. It's
a badge of honor at this point. Everyone's like, you haven't seen The Sandlot? I'm like, no, and I don't plan to.
It's not cool. It's not like a redeemable trait.
Kind of is.
It's not.
I think it is.
It's very AJ.
Yeah, it's more about the. It's more about the. It's just more
he doesn't
about
like authority.
Yeah.
He doesn't like something that everyone else does.
That's you, Scott.
That's not true.
That's you, Scott. You don't like
that's
authority.
you. Yeah. You don't like people telling you what to do, Snowflake?
How's that Snowflake?
Because you don't like it.
What?
I just want to smile for Buddy. Liam Hendriks is back. It was a long time. I think it was 680 days. And then he said it felt like 1,000 plus. Hey, the Red Sox look good. Not great yet. They need some bullpen help. So hopefully Liam's got it. I mean, the velo's a little down, but he just came back. So we'll see.
It wasn't very nice of Andrew Vaughn
to rudely greet him.
To hit a homer off of him.
Former teammate.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't very nice of him.
That's part. You coming out in a big league game. 1-run game, I think, too. They were losing at that point, but hey, you're going to have to give them a dinger. Nobody cares that you haven't been out there in 681 days.
Yeah, well, it's Boston.
Andrew Vaughn's got to keep his job, too.
That's right.
Yep.
That's a good call. Yeah, Andrew Vaughn's not worried about it. Actually, speaking of keeping your job, we did get some breaking news. So we'll be back in, I think, less than a minute, and we'll cover that for Hot Corner coming up next. Let's hit Hot Corner. Breaking news here. The Guardians have designated Triston McKenzie for assignment. What does that mean? Other teams could claim him if they want to pick him up. You have to take on the salary. I'll look up what he's making in a sec. This is all fresh news. Or he ends up in the minors. How much? 1.95?
1.95 this year. It's his first year of arbitration, second year of arbitration, I think.
Okay. So a team could pick that up, which I actually think a team might if they think they can fix it. Otherwise, he goes to the minor leagues.
Man, oh, man. He was so good a couple years ago, and he just started getting hurt all the time. So good. Just amazing how quick. This game just chews you up and spits you out, man. That's why people say getting to the big leagues is hard, but staying, because I tell people this all the time, and Kratz knows this. When you're a major league player, every person in the world is trying to get your job that plays baseball. It's not like just some guy sitting over here that works. You work at IBM and I work at Apple. That Apple guys, like every dude in the world is trying to get. There's only 780 of them in the world that do the job. And if you're like a starter, there's 30 of you in the world. And there's every other person. There's millions and millions of people that want to get your job, and they come for you every day. And this is how fast it can happen. Because Triston McKenzie a couple years ago was thought to be like the next Guardian Indian star.
Mm-hmm. People were like, sign him up to an extension.
Yeah.
He started getting hit with injuries. You know, when we all saw this news, I saw everyone's face, and it was kind of the same because you also root for guys that are good interviews. They give their time. Like, he's a good ambassador to the game. So, you know, we saw it just now, Kratz, and I was like, damn it.
It sucks. It sucks. I caught one of his pens when he was like 18 or 19. We talked about when he was on the show. Just a guy that's really engaged, talking to Voter, talking to other guys that played with him or watched him the last few years going through his rehab. Like, the dude is so positive. He's out there for the team. He's out there for his boys, and he wants to compete. His hasn't been healthy. And then when you come back from not being healthy and you have an 11 ERA through your first 4 games, the team's trying, like we just talked about Andrew Vaughn and Liam Hendriks, the team's trying to win. They're not every team can sit there and go, okay, hey, you know what? You're going to iron it out. I would have a hard time believing that there's not 5 teams that could care less about their record that could give this guy an opportunity to work this stuff out in the big leagues, because the potential's there.
The thing that's concerning is Cleveland often is able to resurrect a career. They have a really good thing going there.
Mm-hmm.
But you realize that they don't necessarily resurrect careers. They translate how a guy's pitching in the minor leagues with their formula, and they take them to the big leagues, and they get the value out of them when they have them. Like, very few guys hang around. They keep them for a little bit, and then they get rid of them. And where do those guys go? How do they do when they go away from them? The Guardians have done a really good job of creating starting pitchers with stuff that doesn't necessarily match up with what other teams are looking for, 95 to 99. You know, they have a formula that's control and spin and exit velocity, and it goes into formula, and they say you'll be a good starter one day.
Do you know why? Because they feel like they can add a few ticks, just like almost any team can. So they do this in the draft all the time. They'll find a guy and you'll be like, oh, wow, he barely walked anyone in college. He's only 93. And they're like, well, that's cool. But what if he throws 97 and still keeps that command and control? That's what they like. But it's a good point from Kratz, too. The Guardians don't really have time to mess around. Like, they're good. I don't think they're going to run away.
Their window is always short.
It's short, but also in the division. It's a good division. Like, they can't be like, all right, let's run them out and we'll keep working on things. I mean, he's made 1, 2, 3, 4 starts for them. Hasn't gotten more than 2 innings. They just don't have time.
Yeah, agreed. They're not good enough to give someone a little bit of runway like the Yankees can do with Devin Williams.
Right. Dodgers can do that with Bobby Miller a little bit.
Well, they'd send him back.
Did they send him back already?
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe they can. But anyway, hopefully.
They did it last year. They did it last year with Bobby Miller.
Yeah. They gave him some time, and fans were freaking out, and it's like, you guys are good.
Hasn't gotten any better, though.
No.
Poor Bobby.
I know. So there's some guys going through it. Triston's one of them. It's an 11.5 ERA and 4 appearances, 4 starts, 5 2/3. So we'll see what happens with him. But wait, were they all starts?
No, I think he's coming out of the bullpen.
Or sorry, all of the bullpen. Yeah.
Yes, no starts.
This is psychedelic AJ music.
I was going to say, that was groovy music, bro.
The music. Do you hear?
No, I don't listen. Haven't you guys figured this out about me yet? That I don't listen and I don't read?
Right.
I mean, I do read. I just don't read.
You hate authority.
That's not true.
You said, I don't listen. I don't listen.
No, I don't listen to the music.
Or I thought you just mean in general. You don't listen. You tell Ken you don't read his articles. You don't listen to him. You're a rebel.
No, I listen when I need. I have selective hearing.
for sure.
Oh, I can block out anything.
Mm-hmm. Joe Adell.
It's not big leaguing people. I listen. I'm very personal when I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's just times where I'm just like, I just don't care, and I'm just not listening. But I'll act like I am. Yeah.
That's big league 'em.
There's a lot of big leaguers that big league.
Listen, at some point, you're told to do something for the 25th time. You start not listening.
Well,
or maybe the first 24 I should have.
AJ's in the psychology chair right now. Tell me more. All right. There was actually a little psychology going on with Joe Adell yesterday. He had a huge hit for the Angels that turned around the game in the ninth. It was a walk-off knock. They're down 2. He clears the bases. He said Mike Trout came up to him in the on-deck circle, and he goes, "Hey, man, you don't need to be the hero. Nice and easy." And Adell said it really helped him out. Does that stuff help?
I don't know. Does it? I mean, he knows what he's got to do. I remember Colton Wong in 2014 came up and hit a walk-off home run in the playoffs. Before the bat, I'm like, dude, just make contact. Because he tried to hit a home run every bat, and he hits a home run, of course. And he's like, was that good enough contact for you? I was like, yeah, we won. Good job.
He told you.
He showed me, Colton, I love you, but that was funny.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. Does it help? Yeah, it's nice to have a future Hall of Famer tell you don't have to do everything. But, I mean, listen, if you're Joe Adell, you've been up and down, you've seen enough. Now you know what you got to do, and that's put the bat on the ball and try and get a hit. I mean, we all try to get a hit every time, but it doesn't always work out. So good for you, Joe. If Trout helped you, then good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. This is where the value of veterans is. Not saying that Trout's only value is talking to players, but these are the kind of conversations. Oh, well, that guy's kind of been in it. Okay. It might make you more panicked and it might not work out. I'm sure there's been conversations that, hey, Joe, don't swing at this slider in the dirt. Oh, okay. Thanks for that info. Like, just gave him a mindset. That was a big comeback. That was cool. Neto was
4 runs off. Yeah, Ryan Walker, who's been really good for San Francisco. I mean, hides the ball the entire time. He's good little reliever. He's been on the show. The New York Mets are playing ball right now. Let's talk about him with Tim Healey. You can follow him at Tim B. Healey on Twitter, Mets beat writer for Newsday. Tim, good to see you. How was the weekend in multiple ways? The performance from the Mets sweeping the Cardinals and also the turnout from fans seems to be getting a lot of attention as well. What's up, man?
Hey, man, how are you? Both of those were a resounding success. 4-0 against the Cardinals. Nice little 4-game sweep. Well-rounded, pitching, hitting, fielding. They did a little bit of everything, especially yesterday. And then the turnout was great. As Francisco Lindor put it yesterday after the game, quote, "It wasn't like this last year." So funny what effect winning has on fans. It's a tale as old as time. You can mix in all the mascot races and good concession stands and all that stuff. But if you win, people will come. And if you don't win, people aren't going to be as interested. So it's been a big success for the Mets so far. They had a sellout, I believe, Saturday night. But really all 4 games, really strong crowds, lively crowds, energetic. They gave Juan Soto a standing ovation before one of his at-bats amid his, so-called struggles, which is probably too strong of a word. But it was a big weekend and a good weekend for the Mets. They've been beating up on bad teams, which is what they're supposed to do.
Tim, what was the most – but by the way, Juan Soto doesn't need a standing ovation. I mean, let's –
I thought so.
I'm going to ask you about that quote he had later about not hitting. We are not going to go there yet. But what's the most encouraging thing for the Mets fans? Was it the pitching this weekend? Because they pitched really well, especially Senga. Or was it the offense came to life?
I think it was the offense because the pitching has been there through the first 3.5 weeks. They have the best staff in baseball, rotation and bullpen. So the fact that the hitting seems to be coming around is highly encouraging because this is a lineup that should score a ton of runs. And so far, they haven't. So the fact that yesterday, for example, each of the top 4 guys had an RBI, at least one RBI, Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo. If that top half of the lineup comes alive the way they did the last couple of days, then the Mets really are going to be in cruise control.
All right, so you talk about the pitching staff. Is this enough of a sample size now? A year of creating value in the pitchers that they brought over last year with Minaya and Severino And now this year, including me, I said, I don't know, this pitching staff's not there. Like,
including me
now
too.
they've done it 22 games. You too. I've read a couple of your articles. You had said about it. Is this enough of a sample size to say Mets fans are like, hey, don't worry about it. We won't be mad that we don't go after Corbin Burns. We won't be mad that we didn't get Max Fried. We won't be mad about what they're building in this, like how to pitch for the Mets.
I think they've done plenty to earn the benefit of the doubt at this point, given what they did last year with Severino and Minaya, given what they've done so far this year with Canning and Clay Holmes, not to mention Tyler McGill, who's taken a big step forward, Kodai Senga, who's been healthy and excellent, and then the bullpen, which is a classic David Stearns bullpen in that you might not know a lot of their names, but they're nasty, and collectively they're going to shut you down. It's been super impressive. Barely a weak link among the 8-man pen. So is it a big enough sample size? I'd say, yeah, they've deserved the benefit of the doubt at this point because they've shown they're able to take pitchers who in the past were not healthy and or good and make them both of those things, which is pretty incredible. I don't think it's going to stay at this level for a long stretch, but if they get good performances for a couple of months from a couple of these guys, and then Minaya comes back, and then Frankie Montas comes back from their injuries, then the Mets are going to be in good shape. Not to mention the arms they have coming up on the farm, Brandon Sproat, Blade Tidwell. There's a lot to like for the Mets on the pitching front.
All right, I'm going to get to this since it's taken over in New York, since a lot of the radio hosts don't actually watch ball or no ball. And whatever, you don't have to. You can be a casual fan too. So how's Juan Soto doing?
Juan Soto is doing fine. Do you want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean...
But he doesn't have Aaron Judge hitting behind him anymore. He only has Pete Alonso, who has a 1,100 OPS right now.
Right, but do you know the context? Like in New York, some of the radio wieners are like, he's terrible. He's so bad. They only look at like 2 stats to sum up what they're doing. And really, they think about this stuff. So they've already won. We're talking about them, although we're not throwing out names. But just for people to understand, right, if the Mets fans catching this, where are we at on Soto right now and his 385 on base percentage?
385, that's pretty good. I think his OPS is in the low 800s now too. So basically what it is Juan Soto did not perform at an MVP caliber level for the first 3 weeks of the season. And I suppose given his unprecedented contract that comes with unprecedented hype and excitement and unprecedented scrutiny, of course. So I don't know. It's just this silly New York, sometimes media echo chamber, social media, radio, blah, blah, blah. My take is if Juan Soto struggling for 3 weeks features him getting on base at an elite rate and having an OPS of 750, 800, now above 800, then he'll be okay. And the Mets will be okay. So that whole dust up last week was much ado about nothing, in my opinion. Juan Soto's a great baseball player, great hitter especially. So, he'll get hot.
We have a fan chat question here from Armand. He's asking, can you give us any update on the Vientos injury?
Well, he did not play yesterday. He hoped yesterday afternoon to be available today, Monday. But it sounds like that groin discomfort, groin whatever, that he left the game with on Saturday was no big deal. They figured it was hydration. He felt well enough on Sunday that he didn't even go for an MRI or anything. So it sounds like he should be totally fine. So good news there for the Mets.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, that's good. They got Beatty and Acuña playing well, too. So it's going to be interesting when old Jeffy McNeil comes back, what they try to do with him. Maybe they just say, hey, Jeff, maybe keep playing golf. These dudes are doing pretty good. I'm kidding.
He's a center fielder now.
Yeah, but they have a center fielder.
I know. What are they going to do?
What are they going to do when McNeil comes back? That is an interesting problem the Mets are going to have.
It's super interesting, and I don't know the answer. We might learn more today with McNeil back in Queens to check in amid his rehab assignment, which probably will continue for a couple of more days. So it isn't an imminent or urgent question for the Mets, but it is an interesting one because Acuña has been playing well, and the Mets really like him. Carlos Mendoza really likes him. They hope that he continues to earn these every day or almost every day at bats that he's been getting over the last week and a half. If that happens, it gets a little awkward, because do you put Acuña in center some days and McNeil at second? Or do you let Acuña stay at second with his excellent defense and chemistry with Francisco Lindor and try McNeil in center, which they've done a little bit in recent years, but let's be honest, he's not a center fielder, really. He's just a guy who can go out there and hold his own. Maybe that's good enough. I don't know. David Stearns really likes defense up the middle. So it'll begin with who's the odd man out roster-wise, maybe Brett Beatty, maybe Jose Azocar, but there are at-bats to be had, I would think, between center field, second base, DH, where the Mets have not gotten a lot. So, that's a puzzle for Carlos Mendoza and the Mets to figure out, and it doesn't necessarily fit neatly together very easily.
That's funny, by the way. It's a good problem to have. Listen, when you have too much depth, it's a good problem to have. So Mets fans a couple years ago were complaining we don't have anybody. They got too many people, and that's a good thing. All right, I got to ask him, what were your thoughts when Pete Alonso had his triple? Did you tell him when he was going around second, you can carry a piano on your back, you just don't have to stop and play it? And his legs, they got a little bit squirrely, right? When he was, I don't know what happened. I mean, I'm surprised no one on the Mets bench didn't bring him oxygen at third base.
When Pete Alonso gets it going on the bases, it is a delight to watch, because it's not always the smoothest. It's certainly not the fastest, but he is hustling. He is trying out there, and you're never going to catch Pete Alonso sleeping, and they certainly didn't catch him sleeping on that triple the other day. Just love it. Pete Alonso's been off to a great start, and he is busting it around second to third. So shout out to Pete Alonso, who always runs hard.
You always get the, hey, kids, you can play baseball. You might not be the fastest. You might not be the most athletic, but, man, Pete's having a year, too. You seeing anything differently? Last one for me. You seeing anything differently from Pete that's leading to this success? I mean, what's he saying?
Not really. He's just a rare kind of locked in right now. I would say more locked in than I've ever seen him, even more so than his record-breaking rookie season in 2019. I do wonder if deep down, or maybe not so deep down for Pete Alonso, he took the offseason during which baseball as an industry collectively shrugged at him in free agency and said, okay, I'll show you. I'll show the Mets, who only gave him a 2-year deal. He'll show the rest of the 29 other teams who didn't really want him, and he's going to put up a great year. So far, through 12 or 13% of the season, he's absolutely doing that. It's a long year, as we all know, but he's been amazing. 1,200 OPS or so, right up there on the leaderboards on all the important stats, RBIs especially. He should drive in a ton of runs this season with Lindor and Soto ahead of him. So suffice to say, he'll probably be getting a bigger contract this offseason, if not earlier.
Tim, by the way, tell them, I know you're in the media food room, but I mean, you're doing an interview. I know the press boxes are literally, if you've never been to have you been to Citi Field? Yeah. You have to walk through the food to get to the press. It's one of the weirdest setups of all. You have to walk through the crowd, and then you have to walk through the media food room, and then so whatever they're making, I hope it's good, because there's a lot of noise behind you, crashing and banging.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's Howie.
It's not that bad.
Is it Howie back there? He's looking for that suit he has on in that picture.
Howie's not here yet, but we got some popcorn going into the boxes. We got the cookies coming out, so it's
the cookies are good there. The cookies.
The ball's starting to get rolling here, so we're in good shape.
And that's your food report.
Oh, those cookies are good in New York, and they always have a little ice cream on the side, and usually some other goodies. Notice I don't talk about the other food; it's always the sweets.
Yeah.
What should we look forward to for this series? I mean, this is 1 versus 2 right now. They've always, the last few years, the Mets have dominated the Phillies. Pitching staff has changed, but the pitching staff has dominated this lineup. Do they continue that here, or is it something that I'm seeing a little bit of a different outlook this year?
This series is very interesting, and I'm less interested in the standings. Right now, Mets are 1, Phillies are 2. Great, that's fun. But I'm more curious to see what the Phillies look like, because I haven't seen them yet this year. more than highlight reel packages. So the last couple of years, the Phillies have gone a little less deep into October than they did the year prior. Last year, they lost in the division series to the Mets in a series that frankly was not very close, 4 games, but barely even needed to go that long. So I'm curious to see how the Phillies respond. Brendan Nimmo mentioned yesterday, and it's easy to believe him, that the Phillies probably want to come out and make a statement early. And this is their chance to do that. They have Nola tonight, and he's not been very good so far this season. But the next 2 days are Christopher Sanchez and Zach Wheeler, who's always a good time when he's pitching against the Mets. So it's a big series. The Phillies look on paper like they should be a better team. So far, that hasn't really been true since the Mets have been doing basically a little bit of everything. But I think we'll find out more so about the Phillies this week than the Mets. At least from my perspective. Maybe that's because I watch the Mets all the
time. Exactly. Yeah, you definitely will learn more about the Phillies than the Mets.
Yeah.
Tim, great to have you on. Appreciate it. Go get a cookie for AJ, and we'll catch you soon. Enjoy the game later.
Great. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Check out Tim's work in Newsday. He's awesome. Also, of course, we talk Mets on a almost daily basis with Metsed Up. Our guys taking over, obviously, talking about the big weekend for the Metropolitans. They got a fresh episode out because they got a sweep. So they're pretty fired up if you want to get your Mets content there. Otherwise, we'll be right back. All right, let's hit locks. So Friday, Todd Father got a dub. Good for him. That was Reagan's day for Kansas City. The Tigers took 2 out of 3 from the Royals. Royals had to win in the 10th yesterday to salvage a game in the series. Tigers looking good. And they beat Scooble yesterday, but the Tigers beat Reagan's on Friday. Anyway, Kratz lost, I lost. Pap lost.
Pap always loses.
No, Pap's doing well. Look at Moneybags for Pap. He's up $521.
He's not down 580 though.
No.
I think mine's better.
You can turn that around. I heard.
Oh, it's turning around today.
You have a parlay. Do you want to do it now since we won't have time for anyone else the rest of the show?
Yeah, I can do mine. So this is a 4-leg parlay. Why? Because 1984 has a 4 in it. That's why I went 4-leg parlay. I'm going to start with over 4.5 for Kevin Gausman against the Astros. Reds money line. And over 4.5 punch-outs for Nick Lodolo against the Miami Marlins. Miami Marlins strike out the second most out of any team in baseball. Lodolo's been on a roll, and the Marlins just plain old suck. The last leg of the parlay has a special meaning. The Pope passed away, sadly, and is born and raised Catholic. Sad for the Pope and the whole Catholic Church. But there's one guy that always shows up when bad things happen. Do you know who that is?
Nick Castellanos.
Nick Castellanos. So I went over 1.5 hits, RBIs, runs for Nick Castellanos. That gets me to plus 622. I'm betting 300. That's $1,866. Let's go, boys.
Wow. That's how you deliver a lock.
You're betting on Nick Castellanos. I hope this hits. I am tailing this all the way home. I love it.
By the way, I did see online, too, that the number 1 home run pick today is Nick Castellanos.
No way. Wow. A lot of pressure on Nick.
There's a lot of
when he sees something big going on in the world, he's like, I got to distract everyone.
And you know, and I've seen interviews where he hates this about it.
He does hate it.
It's a fun. It's not. I mean, it's just one of those funny, quirky baseball things. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll appreciate it when he retires.
Yeah. He'll look back and be like, "Yep, there was a deep drive to the left."
All right. So we'll do Kratz pick, my pick, Pap's pick coming up next. Also, it's a special day. We'll talk about that later, though. A little anniversary for AJ and a friend. Injuries suck coming up next. Injuries suck. We'll start with the Dodgers. Blake Trinan MRI reveals a low-grade forearm sprain. For now, the plan is rest and rehab. No timetable. Not great.
They lose Trinan and they bring up Evan Phillips.
Yeah, they have so many good relievers, but Blake Trinan was the dude.
He was dude last year, but he's also older. This also could be hey, it's still early. He struggled his last time out, so let's give him a little 10-day break.
Or a month. I mean, they've got a lot of arms in that bullpen.
Yes.
Yeah. I've said this from the jump. They say this internally, Kratz. Can we get as much as possible intact to October? That is the goal. I know it's a goal for everyone, but more for them.
And they figure it out when they're there. Dudes pitch through things in the playoffs. Dudes that play healthy the whole season pitch through things in the playoffs. Dudes that are injured partway through the season pitch through things in the playoffs. Brent Honeywell just got his ring just the other day. Like, that dude came out of nowhere in the baseball sense. We had him on the show at the end of spring training last year. But the Dodgers just find guys like this. They find guys, but they also find like the superstars, and they're okay because of their depth to be able to let them get this forearm thing ironed out so that it doesn't become a Tommy John thing.
Right. Especially for Trinan at that age. He does not want to go through that crap again. He's upper 30s. Tyler Glasnow left
Pickle juice.
What, cramps?
He's not drinking his pickle juice.
Yeah, cramps. He's had them before, right?
Yeah, that's when he came on here and said he started drinking pickle juice.
Yeah.
Remember, his hand was like cramping. This was like a calf, I think, or a hammy. I don't know what a cramp feels
Lower
like,
leg.
people. I must drink too much pickle juice.
Yeah,
people blasting me for that, but it's true. Truth.
He's not. He said, I'll give you the quote. It's not a fatigue thing. I've tested the hydration. I'm not really sure why it keeps happening. It hasn't happened in a while. After a while, it just gets to the point where it's fully locked up. I'm not sure why. His team won that game 1-0, and he dealt 4 scoreless innings.
He's their
52
Sunday
pitches.
pitcher.
Right, because they have a weekly-ish schedule going on.
Well, they have Yamamoto Friday. It's like college. They have a Friday night starter, a Saturday night starter, and a Sunday starter.
That's fine.
Yeah.
On a week schedule, and you know what day you're pitching. Kind of cool.
Are they doing that?
Maybe he's not pitching enough. Maybe he's not pitching enough, and so his legs started to cramp.
He's a conspiracy theorist.
What causes a cramp?
You've never had one.
So I'm saying I want to know what causes them. I played with Tyler Flowers, who used to drink 17 Pedialytes, 18 Gatorades, 19 electrolyte packets. We'd go play in Miami, 4 innings in, like, you got to go in. He's cramping up. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, yeah, I just don't understand. Like, he would literally be like, ooh. I'm like,
you can't cramp up. You can't cramp up in a game. No, not as a position player. As a pitcher, maybe, because you're not really athletic. As a position player, you can't cramp up in a game. No, sorry.
That happened all the time. I'm like, I just don't. I mean, they were trying everything. He was drinking all kinds of stuff. I'm like, I don't know.
You need the pickle juice.
Apparently, pickle juice is the answer.
You need a pickle juice. So, by the way, Yamamoto was great. Roki Sasaki looked much better. He was using the slider a lot more and just attacking more. I think it's just attack more.
He's throwing more strikes.
Yeah, that's
it's amazing what happens if you throw it over the plate.
Yeah. So, I think he's going to be good. That's my prediction. Roki Sasaki, good at ball.
Can't get Higgy out, though. My boy Higgy with a dinger.
True. Good signing.
Dodgers should have swept them.
I
mean, Adolis Garcia home run off Kirby Yates, who's been really good. But other than that, I mean, the Dodgers should have swept them.
They'll take it.
Major League
They'll
Baseball.
take the series win and move on. Exactly.
Major League Baseball.
Last one. Real quick, just from last night, Arise was carted off the field. Yeah, it looked really bad. He collided with Mauricio Dubon. The prognosis post sounds pretty good.
He was knocked out.
He was knocked out.
I was watching this on the plane coming home from Mississippi yesterday, and he went down, and I was like, he's knocked out. As soon as he hit his shoulder, he went face to shoulder. His eyes were closed. And anytime a guy goes down and his arms are up, it's curtains right there. You're out.
Yep.
And he was out for a while, and then he didn't move for a long time. They kept showing it, and he didn't move for a while. Like, he was just there.
You're always worried about like neck or anything.
Yeah.
But knocked out, as bad as it sounds, that's kind of one of the better case scenarios. I mean, obviously,
okay. So my question is, if you get knocked out, doesn't that automatically mean you have a concussion? I don't know enough about concussions.
Probably.
Because if it wasn't like he just passed out from low blood sugar or something else. I mean, his face went into Dubon's shoulder, right? And he was out. So doesn't that mean I don't know enough about unconsciousness and concussions.
I don't know. I'm not sure he's trying.
I'm sure he's on the concussion protocol. I mean, how do you even any kind of symptom? You got to go through the test, and that's one thing Major League Baseball did a good job of. It's a 7-day list, so you don't feel like you have to push a guy to not go on because it's 10 or 15 days. 7 days concussion.
But he was back in the locker room after the game, so that's a good sign that he's okay. But according to producer lady, yes, being knocked out is a common symptom of a concussion.
Common symptom, but it's important to know not all concussions and loss.
No, I understand, but I always thought if you get knocked out, you have a concussion.
Right.
Because it's basically.
Yeah, it's pretty likely. So, yeah, hopefully he gets back on the field soon. And good thing, it wasn't what some people were looking at and thinking, oh, man, he's not moving. So,
no, it was bad.
Yeah, you always worry about the neck. It's good to see that he's back on track already. All right, we'll be right back.
FT fam, what's up? It's your boy Parlay Pop coming to you. Little discretion over my last bet. I don't know what's going on or who put Eric Kratz in charge, but I don't think he knows what he's talking about. My bet should have been voided last time because the game was postponed more than 24 hours, and I looked it up, and this is how you do it. You void the bet. So I guess y'all gonna give me a loss for that one, but that's some BS. But anyway, we still up about $400, and we at the top. So we're going to bet this game today, and we're going to bet the Padres, okay? So Padres going up against the Tigers, pretty good team, but they got a guy throwing with a 9 ERA, and the Padres got a guy throwing with a 1.70 ERA. So that math adds up for me. So I'm going to take them today, just a one pick on the money line at plus 120. And we're just going to go with a pick 'em today. Pick 'em Pap, no parlay Pap. Peace. I'm out. Y'all have a good day. Happy Marathon Monday. Peace.
Let's go. He also had a big jug of water in that other hand. Huge jug of water.
What was he doing with that tank top?
He's a frat star.
I mean, seriously, what's he doing? Kratz, you just got buried, by the way. I don't even know what he was talking about, but you just got buried.
Yeah, well, he thinks that a same-game parlay is different than a parlay. He parlayed two different parts of a game. The one game played, the other game didn't. It doesn't void. It doesn't cancel just because one of the parts did. He losed it.
Yeah.
He would have just gotten a lower value. Yeah.
Yeah.
They adjust the line. It's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay, Pep.
Kratz, what's yours? We got me and you with a minute to go.
Phillies over 8. Nola versus McGill. Phillies versus the Mets. Coming out of minus 102, even money.
Boom. San Francisco Giants are a high strikeout team this year. I got their hitters going over 8 or over 7.5 Ks at plus 105. Quinn Priester, I think, is being undervalued. I mean, they've got him pegged for like a strikeout or two. I'm like, I think he'll get a few more, and then the bullpen does the rest. Bonus code, FOUL, F-O-U-L. Get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet when you sign up online at BetMGM.com or on the app. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Dorian in the chat said Kratz is wrong too.
Oh!
What? I've been wrong before.
Let's slap a couple things. First of all, yes, that game was insane on Friday. 16 runs in Chicago with the Diamondbacks and the Cubs.
Inning, right?
Yeah, in the 8th inning, just in the 8th. 10 runs from Arizona. Cubs won that game. Also, just a reminder, Kyle Tucker's really good.
Yeah, I had a friend at that game with his kids, and I told him, he sent me a picture, and then that was right before the Diamondbacks sent the 10 runs, and I go, see what you did to your kids? You ruined them. And then, of course, the Cubs came back.
It was a good game. That's a fun game to go to if you're a Cubs fan. All right, big history today. What do we got?
Happy Phil Humber Day.
Oh, yeah.
2012, on this day, Phil Humber threw a perfect game. Kratz, you know all about – oh, wait, no, you don't. Catching a perfect game. Sorry. But, yeah, he threw a perfect game, and I almost completely effed it up at the end because he threw a slider that was 12 feet outside, and I missed it. And I thank you, Brendan Ryan, for not running, and R.I.P. Paul Runge for calling it a swing.
Wow. He should have ran, huh?
Or Brian Runge. Sorry. Brian Runge. Sorry. Excuse me.
Why didn't he run?
Because he was arguing with the umpire.
He was arguing.
Thank you, Brendan Ryan.
That's great.
Thank you, Brian Runge. But still, one of the coolest things because I missed Mark Burley's perfect game. I wasn't playing that day, and Mark Burley made fun of me until that day. And I'll tell you what, the first text I got after the game was Mark Burley saying, "Congrats, you got your perfect game." So good on you, Mark. Yeah, there's the mask right there.
Yeah, that's the bronze mask.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
The best part of the whole thing was everybody was celebrating, and I was the last person to get to the mound because I was chasing the ball. So everybody ran to Phil Humber, and I kind of waited a second because I just wanted to kind of soak it in for a second. And there was just a dog pile. So if you run the tape, I actually run kind of around, and there's nobody there. So I just lay backwards on top of everybody for no reason, just other than that. I thought it would be fun to do.
Yeah, that's cool. You wanted to do a snow angel or something?
Yeah, but everybody's on the thing, and you just see me turn over and lay backwards like this. And you know what? There wasn't even – they always saying like a no-hitter, a perfect game. There's like a ball hit that could have been – there wasn't even a ball hit remotely where I was like, that's a hit. And once we got through Ichiro in that game, we were like, okay. And then the other guy, the lefty, the other Japanese, Kawasaki, what was his name? The little lefty shirt.
Munenori Kawasaki?
Yeah.
Really? He was on that team?
Yeah. Once we got there, I was like, okay, we got this. And he went 3-0. Ninth inning, he went 3-0 on the first hitter. And he came back in. I think it was Ryan.
Brendan Ryan?
No, Saunders. Michael Saunders. Big lefty.
Oh, Michael Saunders.
And he punched him out. I was like, we got this. But I've never been so nervous in my life. I promise you. Never been so nervous in my life.
We got to get Phil on the show.
Let's do it. Good fellow.
Text him.
I can.
Yeah, it's actually a good idea. We never had Phil on the show. Let's get him on.
I
think that'd be fun.
It'd be great. I told you the story. Did I ever tell you the story about Eric Karros? Dave Sims called the game. It was a Fox game. And Karros and I had worked together. And so he would always text me, "Oh, I'm coming to your game." He was so mad he had to do that game. He texted me, he's like, "I can't believe they're making me go to Seattle. White Sox, Mariners, both these teams suck." And it was the perfect game. So every time now he's like, "Well, I'm glad I got to do that game," because he was so mad that he had to do that game.
Oh, man. And it's really cool.
Right there.
Do that.
I mean,
there it is.
See, Brendan Ryan, thank you. And then by the time he realizes it, he's like, "Well, I'm going to be out anyways."
That's good.
And then you can see everyone celebrating, and then you'll see he's still yelling. And you finally just see me at the end just go backwards on top of everybody.
It's like, really, Brendan? You're that mad? It just was perfecto from, dude, what about the previous 26?
Yeah, it was.
Philip Humber had a career 5.33 or 5.31 ERA.
He was perfect for one day, and that's all that matters.
That is so amazing.
Yep.
Exactly.
Ichiro was the one I was worried about, and he went 0 for 3. And then, John Jaso came up.
Ichiro's the one to worry about. When you've got a perfecto, Ichiro.
Oh, trust me.
A concern.
Trust me. He was the one.
He is good.
Once we got through him, I was like, okay, we got a shot at this thing now.
Yeah. Don't mess with the contact, man, but that's good. Kratz hats on your way out. And also tell us how excited you are to appear for several innings later. Oh, a little guards ball.
Little Guardians with the baseball and the wings coming out. Kind of like it. Nice red, too. Not AJ's favorite color, but that's okay.
I don't have one red thing in my house. I don't have one red thing.
I don't wear much red. You have one red thing?
I have one red thing.
Yeah.
I have the cardinal. But other than that, I don't have one. I don't own a red shirt, red hat, red anything.
I'm not a big red guy. But you have to be if you're in Philly.
True.
If you're a Phillies guy. Kratz,
and if
you
can
rock red. You're good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing the Phillies playback game today, Phillies Mets, might need to rock a little red when I'm coming in late.
Don't forget when Castellanos does something. You know why?
That's all we're going to talk about each at bat. we're gonna like stop everything we're doing for the alt cast and be like, let's focus here. This could be history.
This could be history.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Could be a deep drive to left.
Exactly. Mets Phillies tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern. If you're on here now, sign up for playback, get a free playback account, catch us. And Dodgers territory is up next. Baseball America Hot Sheet after that. Trevor May Day after that. It's Monday, Mayday Monday.